From the Monroe Athletic. Live from the Monroe Athletic Complex in New Rochelle, New York, Monroe College proudly presents Monroe College men's basketball. Hello and welcome, everybody. It's game 4 of a 4-game day 1, 2-day, 4-game-a-day tournament. Let me get all that right. As the Mustangs will have the nightcap, they're going to host CCBC Dundalk Lions. And welcome, everybody. Mike McGinnis on the call. So happy to have you tune in, and please give us a shout out on YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from. We'll try to give you a shout out during the game. Mustangs come in 15-5 on the year. No official conference record last time out. That was Thursday afternoon. They won at home versus Omnia Basketball Academy, 86-62. Mustangs a 25-0 second half run. Mustangs forced 30 turnovers. Melvin Council Jr., 25 points, 9 rebounds. Tajay Kelton, a real X-factor off the bench. 12 points, 8 rebounds. David Gordon was outstanding as well. He had 10 points. As for the Lions, let's check them out. 8-5, 4-2 in conference. Last time out, they won at Frederick Community College, 69-51. Amir Johnson led the way with 24 points, 10 rebounds. And Jake Magaha, 19 points for Frederick CC. Lions out-rebounded Frederick 43-29. 5 Lions scoring 8.5 points per game or more. Murray Grant, 14 points per game, has been the most reliable Lions scorer this season. We're about to get this one set here. And so happy you could join us here. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Mustangs. It'll be Danisic along with Gill, Armstrong, Council Jr., and Warren Jr. We'll get a look here quickly at the Lions. As they are about to make their way on the court here. Jalen Amoruso, along with Amir Johnson. Of course, he had the big game the other night. Jordan Foster, along with Jason Muzan and Murray Grant. Murray Grant, of course, their top scorer. About to get set here. We're underway from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Danisic won the tip, but he accidentally tipped it to Amoruso, and the Lions will get first possession here. As they work it out in the midcourt here. Kind of a feeling out process between these two teams. Johnson works right side of the arc, spin move inside, kicks it back out. Amoruso sets it on the left side, top of the key three, scrape the front of the rim, Foster. But the Mavericks bring it up. Armstrong, of course, you know, gets hot from 3. He can be hard to stop. Gill swings it out, deflected pass, deep 3 on the way, no good, but the rebound fought for by Gill, and he's going to draw the foul here. Just underway between the Mustangs and the Lions here. As they fight for it inside, Danisic got tangled up. Referee didn't call anything. Look at this ball rolling around all over the place. Diving stop by Amoruso. Somehow controls it to Muzan. Muzan comes in and finishes. So the Lions on the board first. Back out, Armstrong, right baseline, backdoor pass, actually to the front court to Gill, and he misses. So Foster comes in, sets it back up, left baseline 3 connects, Murray Grant. How about that? So a nice start here for the Lions. They're up 5-0. Warren Jr. up to Gill. This is the same starting 5 they had the other day here for the Mustangs. Swing it back out. Melvin Council Jr. right arc 3 off the mark, no good. And the rebound wrestled down by Amir Johnson. Actually, the big man brings it up himself, swings it ahead Here's a left baseline jumper inside the arc by Grant, misses. Council Jr. comes up with it. Gill out to Warren Jr. Council Jr. near the free throw line. Off balance shot, no good. Johnson with the rebound. 5-0 Dundalk, off to a quick start here. As we are just underway from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Of course, we'll see these two teams in action tomorrow. Start time 11 o'clock. 11, 1, 3, and 5. Deep three on the way. Grant can't connect. Nice rebound there by Council Jr. Is he going to go coast to coast? No, he swings it out to Armstrong. Armstrong with the fancy footwork to keep it in. Boy, back over to Council Jr. How does he get there so fast? Deep three on the way for Warren Jr. misses. Rebound there by Amoruso. Quickly gets it over to Foster. Foster, left side, swings it back out. Here's Grant for three, off the mark, no good. Boy, both of these teams taking a lot of threes. Look at that, Armstrong with a nice move to get it ahead to Warren Jr. Comes inside, big block there by Amoruso. Want to give a special shout out here to my trusty assistant who makes all the technical stuff happen, Alexandra. She has been here all day. They call that yeoman's work, and she's doing an outstanding job. So, we have to give her her props. So we thank her very much here for all the expert work she does on these broadcasts. Shot misses there, but getting his own rebound was Foster. Sinks it out for a three there is Muzan. I can see Coach Brewstad with his hands on his hips. He's not happy right now. I feel like a timeout might be coming here. Another offensive rebound. We talked about the Lions with the offensive rebound edge the other night. And not getting the shot down, but drawing the foul there was Amir Johnson. Johnson will go to the line. And as expected, a timeout and a long look by Coach Brewstad to his unit right now. We'll step aside, 5-0. Lions on top. We'll be right back here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Welcome back here. Mike McGinnis on the call as Amir Johnson steps to the line after drawing the foul. Lions off to a hot start here. They're up 5-0. First shot on the way, up and in. Second free throw up and in, so an 8-0 lead for Dundalk here in the early going. Of course, Amir Johnson coming off that 24-10 performance. And there's a foul inside there. So that's exactly how you want to kind of loosen it up here. Now will be charged to Muzan. Danisic goes to the line. Boy, Danisic, he's very strong on the offensive glass. Guy gets a lot of putbacks and ins on missed shots. That time he connects on the free throw. Real vital cog to this unit here, no question. For the Mustangs as he goes 2 of 2 from the line. And look out there. A foul called on Armstrong. And it'll be out of bounds. Sideline in here for the Lions. as they work it ahead on the right side now. Oh, behind the back dribble by Foster. Goes back left. And a reverse layup, no good by Kabasu, who just came in. Council Jr. to Onstrom, left side, deflected pass. Nice job by Danisic to keep that in. Over to Council Jr. now. Warren Jr., Council Jr. Well, something had to happen there. I guess they didn't reset the clock. They're going to have to reset this there. Clock malfunction. Certainly the Mustangs had plenty of time on that there. So 18 on the clock as they get that fixed. Mustangs with the ball, trailing 7-2. Mike McGinnis on the call. 4 minutes into this one. Certainly a feeling out process with these two teams. Warren Jr. top of the key three and connects. Let's see if that gets the Mustangs going. Foster now. Oh, look at this. Modified trap play there. They bring it to the front court. Muzan keeps it out now to Foster. Foster back to Muzan. Muzan trying to find somebody. He finds Grant inside, who I don't know if he had that shot blocked or deflected. Something happened there. And Council Jr. takes a jumper and is off, but a loose ball foul. I think Warren Jr. was fouled on that play. And the foul will go against Murray Grant. Now looks like some size coming in here in the form of, well, somebody there on the sideline. Haven't seen his number yet there for the Lions. Melvin Council Jr. now feeds it inside. One touch pass. Oh, Danisic fouled as he tried to go for the jam. And I believe that one was on Amoruso if I read the referee's hand right. Danisic back to the line. Now I think Chukwuma Aduka is coming into the game here. Missed free throw. Aduaka, comes in the game. Second free throw on the way here from Danisic. Connects. He has 3, and the Mustangs are now down by 1. And here comes that modified press. You know, Mustangs used a defensive schematic the other day against Omnia, and that completely wiped them out. And it led to offense as a missed shot there by Muzan, and ahead to Council Jr. As Warren Jr. now cuts in, fadeaway shot, left side misses. Danisic almost got that rebound. Oduaka comes up with it. Slowly ahead they bring it. Neither team shooting particularly well so far. There was an air ball. Warren Jr. brings it in. Council behind the back dribble, drives to the net, off balance, draws the foul. And the foul goes to Jordan Foster. Timeout called here by Dundalk. They want to talk it over. 7-6 they lead it. 13:51 to go in this first half. We'll be right back here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Welcome back. Mike McGinnis on the call. Thank you so much for tuning in on the MLK Classic Day 1, Game 4. Of course, we'll have the quadruple header tomorrow. I'll be here for all the action. As Council Jr. now to the line. Misses the first shot. So far, it has not been pretty shooting the ball for either side. 2 of 11 for Dundalk, 1 of 11 for the Mustangs. Second free throw on the way. Council Jr. connects. And we are tied at 7. So Monroe has responded with a 7-0 run of their own. Problem is, neither side has eclipsed that point, and we're almost 6.5 into this one. Nice feed down the line, better block by Danisic. Now, was that a goaltend or a foul? Danisic did not agree. Well, I think they're going to call a foul here, and Kabasu goes to the line. Belenga Kabasu's first free throw up and in. Well, both teams have spent time at the free throw line so far. Second one up and in, and Dundalk has a 9-7 lead. Certainly no real tempo to this game so far. As Onstron feeds it over to Council Jr., back to Onstron, right side of the arc. Warren Jr., nice ball facilitation. Gill back to Warren Jr., top of the key, over to Onstron. And Gill tried a no-look pass to Danisic, and it was a kickball. And again, this is why I talk about tempo. There's no flow to this game so far. A lot of stops and starts and, no real consistency to it. Look out, left baseline 3 off the mark, no good by Warren Jr. And quickly brought up the court here by Foster. Well, the Lions have to be happy. They're up 9-7. They've kind of contained Monroe's offense so far. As trying to work left, kicks it out. Top of the key, and look out. Council Jr. comes up with a turnover. Has a 2-on-1 the other way, and Gill finishes. Nice play by Council Jr. on the steal, the assist, and we're tied at 9. Muzan coming in with a head of steam. Backdoor pass, jumper, left baseline, off the mark, no good. Rebounded by Council Jr. By Gill, I apologize. Deflected pass by Warren Jr. Intended for Onstron out of bounds. And it looks like we'll get some reserves coming in here. Amir Johnson comes back into the lineup. I saw someone else here check in, I thought, for the Lions. Just give me a second here. Well, I can tell you that Braylon Joe has come in for the Mustangs, along with Brandon Hodge. So let's see how this group works together. Hodge looks around now, gets it over to Council Jr. Council Jr. draws the triple team as he normally does. Aaron pass. Danisic behind the back dribble somehow got that to Hodge. Swings it out hard to Joe. Council Jr. left arc 3, misses. Long rebound. Now that's a reset. Hodge came up with the rebound. That did hit the rim. Braylon Joe now looks around. Boy, a lot of good ball handlers out there for the Mustangs. And they are denying the paint to Council Jr. And now they're down to 5 seconds again. Hodge for 3, off the mark, no good on the left baseline. Here we go with Grant, who is fouled on the play by Gill. Now, certainly this has been a stagnated start here. Each team only connecting on 2 field goals. Here's Ty J. Kelton. Boy, he really gave a shot in the arm to the Mustangs the other day. A lot of energy off the bench, made some phenomenal defensive plays, and then the offense came with it as the game went on. Let's see if he could do that here today. Well, now the Lions trying to reclaim the lead. They have never trailed. They swing it out to the left side. Look out there as Amoruso just had a flat tire. He just flat out slid on the left elbow. There's a miss by Council Jr. Somehow Hodge came up with it. Braylon Joe inside, look out, off balance, put back up and in for Ty J. Kelton. So Kelton really feeding off the momentum he had from the last game, immediately comes in and gives Monroe instant offense and their first lead at 11-9. Grant now being watched there by Council Jr. He works it to the right side. Oh, telegraph pass, Council Jr. with the layup finish. So Council Jr. has been struggling shooting the ball so far, no question. Defensively, he's been outstanding. He has 4 steals already in this one to go along with 4 rebounds. There's a foul by, I believe, Danisic. No, they're going to call this on Joe. Either which way, it's going to send Amoruso to the line here. Jalen Amoruso's first free throw up and in. It looks like Kabasu comes back into the game for the Lions. Foster does as well. This is a short bench here for the Lions. I believe they only dressed 7 players. Well, I'll have to reconfirm that. So Joe brings it up on the left side. He streaks right. Hodge inside, posting up now. Look out, block from behind is Gordon, who just checked in. And Gordon, another one of these guys that really emerged there on Thursday to propagate that 25-0 rally by the Mustangs. It was really predicated by the defense. Here's, I'll tell you, Tyjae Kelton getting hot. Jumper on the left elbow. Up and in, and it's 15-10 Mustangs. Halfway through this first half. That's tipped out. See members of the Monroe Mustangs women's team. Want to wish them good luck tomorrow in their game, so I'll be on the call for that. Look out now. Oh, that might have been 5 seconds. You better believe it. How about the defense? I'll tell you, Melvin Council Jr., this young man's the complete package. You know, he is an offensive force. I know that's going to jump out at you, but, you know, if he is off to a slow start offensively, he's just so dominant defensively. This guy causes a lot of problems for opponents defensively. I mean, he gets the steals, he gets the rebounds. And that time he forces a 5-second inbounds problem. How about that? Hodge backs it out. Council Jr., baseline 3, just misses. And the rebound away here as Kabasu quickly gets it over to Foster. Foster very smooth back there. He doesn't try to rush anything for the Lions. Setback 3 on the way, misses by Johnson. Braylon Joe with the rebound. Joe gets it ahead, Council Jr., back to Joe, takes the left arc 3, off the mark, no good. Put back rebound, Kelton. Boy, I'll tell you, Tyjae Kelton really emerging here. Past 2 games is like the super 6-man. Him and Gordon really shining in those roles, but Kelton already has 6 in this one. Look out, Grant lost it momentarily. There was that young man again. Melvin Council Jr. Now cut inside, trying to finish. Couldn't quite get there. Foster. Great defensive presence that time by Gordon to just push him off his angle there to get that shot away. Joe over to Council Jr. Council Jr. kind of trying to set the offense. Gordon down low. Offensive foul called on Gordon, as they deemed Amoruso was set up. Muzan comes back in for Dundalk, and Isaac Onstrand comes in for the Mustangs. Boy, Dundalk still stuck on only 2 field goals. It is amazing. They aren't down big here with 11:37 to go. 11:37 gone by here in the first half. I think another impressive thing, and again, does not make sense, I would say. You know, you'd say, well, Dundalk only has made 2 field goals, and oh, by the way, Monroe has only had one turnover. You'd think Monroe would be up by 20 in this one, but that hasn't been the case. Both teams have had their issues shooting the ball here. Joe, maybe a double dribble there. He was still trying to set momentum after forcing yet another turnover. By the way, keep you updated here. Tajay Kelton, 3 of 3 from the floor here. He's really had an excellent 2 games here. Well, a game and a quarter, I would say. But he's definitely been a factor here in the first quarter. They swing it out now. Johnson trying to find some steps, and that's an offensive foul. How about that, Gordon? Established position on that right elbow. And the referees agreed and said, nope, that's a turnover. And the Mustangs. Well, it's funny, you know, Kelton now trying to scuff up that left elbow to your right side there. We saw Amoruso earlier just flat out fall down in that spot. So something to keep an eye on. And Braylon Joe brings it up now for the Mustangs. As the Mustangs have found some kind of traction with this group. Nice job by Kelton. Gives it back out there to Hodge, who feeds Gordon. Gets it blocked. Put back up and in Gordon. Boy, 1 on 2.5, maybe 3 guys. Rejected on the first shot. Wills it back in for the second. And it's 19-10. Lions still stuck on only 2 field goals. I mean, that's incredible. They go right elbow, they swing it back out, right baseline 3, nowhere close. And Onstron's gonna come up with it. Onstron brings this ahead now, stops the ball, brings it to Hodge. Right arc, swings it out there to Joe. Joe almost tripped. Kelton, bank shot misses, and the rebound by Kabasu, who quickly gets it over to Grant. Now Grant's gonna bring it up with Foster on the bench, and there's a whistle. Well, if you can't succeed shooting the ball, try, get the fouls, and they get one on Braylon Joe. And just like that, Jordan Foster comes back in the game for the Lions, replacing Amir Johnson. It'll send Murray Grant to the line. He is the leading scorer on this Lions squad. First shot on the 1-on-1 misses, and that's certainly not going to help. And the Mustangs, give you some idea, they're on a 19-3 run now. And I'll tell you, the Lions are quite fortunate. It's not a heck of a lot more than that. Hodge, left arc 3. Oh, yes. Well, I'll tell you, Brandon Hodge, let's see if that gets the Mustangs going offensively. And they're still up by 12, despite not being off to one of their more, favored starts offensively. Another miss there by, this time, Muzan. Look out, Kelton. Nice job corralling it back in. It's being pushed to the outside. Onstron. Braylon Joe swings it out. Look out. Gordon for 3 off the mark. No good. Tell you, if Gordon hit that one right there, that might have been the lights out this early on. Big man like Gordon, you give him a 3. How much space do you have to give him to respect his shot? Look out there. Too hot to handle that pass for Amoruso. Timeout called. We're going to step aside here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. 22-10, Mustangs in command. We'll be back here in just a moment. Welcome back here to the Monroe Athletic Complex. Mike McGinnis on the call. 22-10. Mustangs on top. And really, I'll tell you, it's a miracle right now. This score is only 22-10. Considering the fact that the Mustangs have only committed 2 turnovers and Dundalk has been stuck on 2 field goals for quite some time now. Hodge with that last 3 there, gets it over to Joe. Armstrong, right baseline 3 off the mark, no good. Kabasu with the rebound, he brings it up himself. Lions need to get it going here offensively. After that 7-0 start, they've been outscored 22-3 since. Top of the key 3, scrapes the front of the rim, no good by Grant. Armstrong the rebound, quickly over to Braylon Joe. Once again, Kelton and Gordon really leading this charge off the bench. A rare miscue there in terms of ball control by the Mustangs. Warren Jr. and Council Jr. back in. I'm going to see who's coming out here. Hodge is coming out. And who else? Armstrong coming out? And Joe's coming out. Okay, now I saw Joe walk to the bench there. Sorry about that. And Kabasu now over to Foster. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. 4 games here in the MLK Classic. Top of the key 3, misses. Loose ball rebound. Who gets it? It will be Kabasu. Back out now, and Lions trying to go on the attack. Looks like Armstrong might have fouled Muzan there with 4:40 to go. Of course, tomorrow games at 11, 1, 3, and 5. You will see the Monroe Express in action here, women's team. We'll see Monroe Mustang College men's and women's teams. SUNY Sullivan, I should say. Both men's and women's teams in action. CCBC Dundalk Erie men's team in action. As finally breaking the dry streak here. Nasir Johnson gets to the line and hits a pair here just to get them on the board, but Dundalk still stuck on 2 field goals. 22-12. Mustangs on top. Warren Jr. now works it right side. Council Jr. Kelton has been really the guy. Deep 3 on the way. Council Jr. misses. I'll tell you, Kelton read that rebound perfectly. And after his miss, Gordon misses and puts it back up and in. And boy, those 2 young men again. Kelton and Gordon really in the thick of it here for the Mustangs. Look out, deep 3 on the way. Another miss here. I'll tell you, it has not been pretty for the Lions shooting the ball. They swing it back out now. Armstrong, left baseline 3, just misses. And Muzan with the rebound. Oh, look out now. Gordon is down. He's not getting up. They got to stop the game here, but there was a foul called. Gordon is still visibly shaken up on the other end. I just think he got hit in the wrong place. And he's trying to walk it off there, but that is not easy to do. No question. He's coming back into the play. He's staying in. Kabasu, well, maybe Coach Brewstad says, you know what, why don't you take a seat? Gordon has certainly put in some great work. And I think he's a little upset. I think he wants to stay in. Him and Armstrong take a seat. Hodge comes in along with Danisic. Kabasu to the line on the 1-on-1, connects on the first. That was a 1-on-1, so you get another shot here. Only saving grace for Dundalk is they're 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Melvin Council Jr. has been stuck on 3 points. However, 4 steals, 5 rebounds. So he is certainly getting it done in other areas of the game. Kelton now, nice bounce pass. Rarely see that to the back in the backcourt, but they get it ahead. Warren Jr. to Hodge, back to Warren Jr. Over to Council Jr., back to Hodge here on the left side. They work it. Over to Warren Jr. Hodge cuts, left side floater, gets it to go. Boy, friendly bounce there off that rim. Hodge has been solid off the bench, no question, and he must have heard me call his name. He gets a steal. Nice pass to Council Jr., who corrals it in on the left baseline. Kelton swings it out. Hodge, one-handed pass. Warren Jr. for three, connects. And boy, that might be a big blow there. I know it's early, but considering the Lions' struggles offensively, any kind of traction that the Mustangs can come up with here, and they certainly seem like they are, it's going to be crippling for them to try to make a comeback here. Foster over to Muzan. Muzan on that right side of the arc. Top of the key, Grant step back. He might have pushed off there, and that's what happened. Offensive foul called on him. When it rains, it pours, and Chukwuma Aduaka comes in for the Lions, who just look frustrated. You can understand why. 2 of 19 from the field. As Kelton, Warren Jr. back to Hodge. Over now, Council Jr. Council Jr., that big stride, swings it out to Hodge. Look out, Warren Jr. for three again, just misses. Gets his own rebound, though. Back pass down to Danisic. 4 on him, and Amoruso with the steal, the behind-the-back dribble to bring it ahead. Boy, I thought he took some steps there. Somehow he was fouled, and Hodge is saying it. Where's the travel call? So obviously I wasn't the only one that kind of thought that was happening. But the referee has the ultimate say, and he said there was a foul on the play. It'll send Jalen Amoruso to the line. First shot up and in. I think if you're a Dundalk fan, thank goodness they've hit well from the free throw line, or else this could be an unmitigated disaster. Second free throw on the way, up and in. And, you know, you got to give the Lions credit. They are finding ways to get to the free throw line. You know, some teams, they don't hit shots. They don't try to work hard to try to get fouls, but the Lions are certainly doing that. There's no question. Well, Kelton now, Council Jr., left baseline, 3 connects, and we'll see if that gets Council Jr. going. With 83 seconds to go in this first half, and the Mustangs are up by 16. Boy, look at the defense. Council Jr., don't tell him his team's up by 16. Pass deflected inside. That seems to be the Mustangs, boy. They know how to get the momentum going defensively. They're not hitting shots. They're doubling down on their defense, and the shots will come. Amir Johnson, oh, there's a lot of yelling and screaming here. I don't know what's going on. Well, the Lions get it set up, or at least I think they do. Foster feeds it inside. Amir Johnson. Fadeaway shot off balance, puts it up and in. That was not easy, but finally another field goal by the Lions. Nice hustle by Foster, but he couldn't keep his feet in. Council Jr., top of your screen there, corner of the Lions bench. Jaron Taylor giving out instructions to his troops there from Dundalk. Feed inside. Kelton was bumped off the play, nothing called. They say play ahead, Foster. Johnson, nice little fake move there and puts it up and in. So Dundalk suddenly trying to get some offensive traction here. 35 seconds to go in the half, 32-20, Monroe on top. Mike McGinnis on the call here, live from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Warren Jr., Kelton swings it out. Council Jr., right baseline 3, off the mark, no good. Long rebound to Hodge. Warren Jr. for 3, off the mark, no good. Loose ball rebound, who gets it? Amoruso. Shot clock turned off. Dundalk can wait for one last shot if they don't have a turnover. Boy, are the Mustangs trying with that. Here's a 3 missing for Johnson. Quick pass ahead. Here comes Council Jr. with the finish to the first half. That's the 3rd time In 3 games, I've seen them do that. 34-20, Mustangs at the half. We'll take a timeout. Second half action coming up here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. And welcome back to the Monroe Athletic Complex. A very good evening to you out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mike McGinnis on the call. And your halftime score is 34-20. The Mustangs in front of the Lions here. And the offensive stats so far, Melvin Council Jr. leading the charge here for the Mustangs. Limited to 8 points, but he's grabbed 5 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 assists. And the Mustangs have shot just 31% from the floor. However, Dundalk went, and I got this stat officially from our SID here, David Spiegel. Dundalk went 18 minutes between field goals. Yes, that is almost hard to do, but they did it. They were 4 of 22 from the field. Thankfully for them, they were 11 of 13 from the free throw line. And that's really the reason right now that they have a puncher's chance in this game. 34-20. They have, I think, played very well defensively on the other side. And you have to give them credit for that. Monroe not really used to being limited to 34 points at halftime. I don't know if that'll continue. Melvin Council Jr. seemed to kind of get the engine revved up there offensively at the end of that first half, and once again ends a half with some kind of ridiculous basket. Highlight reel worthy, and me yelling about it, and that's what he's done here. Second time in 3 games for me. And the Mustangs, to give you perspective, they were down 7-0 early. It's been a 34-13 run since. So we're going to get set up here for half number 2. Once again, another theme really emerging here. Tyjae Kelton and David Gordon really leading the momentum off the bench. Here's Gill. Couldn't quite finish, but the nice backup by Danisic. I'll tell you, Danisic is such a underrated glue guy. Very under the radar. This guy gets a lot of offensive rebounds. Creates second chance opportunities. Primarily for his teammates, but he'll do it himself as he did there. And, you know, Gill playing hard there and draws the foul. He kind of got belted in the stomach there. And the ref said, well, you can't do that. Offensive foul to Amir Johnson. Council Jr. gets the feed from Warren Jr. Warren Jr. now, of course, will be back tomorrow. Quadruple header, 11, 1, 3, and 5 here. MLK Classic. We do it every year here at Monroe College. And Onstron, the jumper off the right baseline. There's that man, Danisic again. 1 on 3. Misses his shot. Gets the rebound. Puts it up and in. I'll tell you, Nikola Danisic, look out. A forced turnover on the inbound. Council Jr. for 3 misses. Danisic almost a one-handed jam on the offensive rebound. Might have been a kickball there. How about that? A lot of vigor coming out here for the Mustangs. Built an 18-point lead. Aduaka comes in here for the Lions. They got to change it up here. Kabasu in as well. Amir Johnson bringing it up himself here with Foster on the bench. Well, I'm looking. I don't even see Foster. Unless I'm missing him. Fadeaway shot up and in for Johnson. I'm looking down on the bench. I don't see Foster, so I don't know what happened. Oh, no, there he is. I see him sitting down now, but he's on the bench. Look out, Onstron for 3. Left arc connects. Oh, boy. Can't be trading baskets for threes, and right now the Lions on the wrong end of that equation. And once again, the defense coming from the Mustangs. If they're not getting the offense, they're starting to rev up the defense to create offense. And they have come out with a lot of pep here in the first 2 minutes of this second half. Amir Johnson bringing in corner of his own bench. Look out, left arc 3 on the way, missing. Rebound to Council Jr. He's coming in 1 on 3. He smartly backs it up, cuts inside, swings it back out. Armstrong comes in, right elbow, swings it back out. Warren Jr. says, hold on a second. Armstrong, left side of the arc, look out, left baseline three, off the mark, no good. Loose ball rebound, Gill pops it up and in. How about that? What a basket that was right there. And everybody likes it. Gill with the steal, and he puts it up and in. Oh, Keon Gill. Actually, I apologize. That was Warren Jr. Oh, look out there. Tough foul called on Strawn. Don't tell him it's a 23-point lead. Got to give credit where it's due there. Keith Warren Jr. made those two plays. The pop-up for that rebound that he put home. He kind of one-touched it in to the basket. And then he gets the steal and the putback. So Keith Warren Jr. really revving it up here. Armstrong's got to go to the bench with that foul. Nice backdoor. Amoruso draws the foul there. Braylon Joe comes in the game for Armstrong. And the foul will go on Keon Gill here. And Keith Warren Jr. leading the charge here in the second half. Monroe has erupted for an early 11 points as Amoruso puts one up and in. And the Mustangs enjoy their biggest lead of the day. 45-23 is your score. Amoruso connects on both. Actually, the biggest lead, to be technically correct, was 23 points. Just a race down to 21 there by the two free throws by Amoruso. Here's Joe. Braylon Joe now to Gill. Gill comes right baseline, swings it out, look out. Here's a three, connecting for Keith Warren Jr. How do you do? 7 points to start this second half. And look at him go on the defense and gets the turnover again. This young man feeling it. You know, they talk about buying into the team concept. No question. Mr. Warren Jr. doing that and then some. I'll always observe some of the more interesting footwear some of these players have out there. Warren Jr. for three, just missed. Loose ball rebound. Grant, well, he's got to back it up. You got to be careful with this defense for the Mustangs. Look out now, coming inside. Johnson off balance, can't get it to go as he hit the deck. Amoruso, the rebound. Swings it out. Telegraph pass deflected by Council Jr. Amir Johnson was able to corral it in and lucky to do so. Amir Johnson, stutter step, bank shot, off the mark, no good. Joe the rebound. Joe gets it ahead, lob pass. Oh, he was trying to set up the one-timer there, basketball style for Keon Gill. Keon Gill couldn't quite corral that one. It was a little too high for him. And Muzan is going to bring this in. Here comes that trap. 3 different Mustangs within about 5 feet of each other of the 3 different Lion players in the backcourt right out of underneath the basket. And a turnover on the play. I wasn't sure the Mustangs were going to be awarded the ball. They are. How about that? Danisic. Oh, offensive foul, yes. Yeah, you kind of knew that Johnson had position that time, and Danisic gets charged with the offensive foul. And here we go on the inbounds again. This is no gimme for the Lions. I mean, that's how swarming this defense is for the Mustangs. Here we go again. 4 players in the backcourt, gold jerseys. And I mean, it's like a struggle to get it to the front court. There's a 3. Nicely done there by Murray Grant. Council Jr., Danisic draws the double team. Awkward pass. Joe corrals it in. Look at Joe, heart of a lion. Offensive foul. He plowed into Amir Johnson. Tell you, Braylon Joe, he might be the shortest guy out there, but I'll say he might have the biggest arms. This guy does work in the gym, you can tell. He's got a football player build. Look out now. Oh, Gill there. Couldn't time that block. And Kabasu, I believe, hit the deck. He did. Again, don't tell Monroe that they are up by 21. These guys are playing it like it's 2 minutes left in the game and they're up by a possession. Coaches have got to love that. Belenga Kabasu to the line. Connects on the first one. That's been the saving grace here offensively for Dundalk, is they've been able to get to the free throw line and hit some free throws. However, hard to negate 22% shooting, as Kabasu 2 of 2 from the line that time. 22% shooting and 16 turnovers already. Jumper Warren Jr. connects. He has been hot. That is 13, I'm sorry, there for Keith. 3 of 8 from downtown. And it's 50-29 Mustangs. Moves on. Double team. Deflected pass. Keon Gill almost had the steal there. Oh, hot pass that Muzan couldn't corral in. See who's coming in here for the Lions. It looks like it's Jordan Foster. Indeed it is. And it looks like Keith Warren Jr., the hot hand here, going to bring it back in. Warren Jr., the leading scorer here, 13 points, but I really attribute more, as impressive as the offense has been, his defense has been really remarkable. Look out now. Gill for 3, connects on the right baseline. Amir Johnson kind of with his hands to his sides saying who lost Gill and all of that. Somebody missed that assignment, and Gill did not miss the basket. 24-point lead, the biggest of the day here for the Mustangs. Thank you for joining us. We are live at the Monroe Athletic Complex. There's a foul on the play. Looks like it's on Melvin Council Jr. We are live here, New Rochelle, New York. I could say if you are not in this part of the country right now, perhaps maybe, you're happy not to be. It's about 10 degrees with a wind chill about -5 outside. As Mayor Johnson gets the finish there. I know there are other parts of the country going to get a blizzard here. I heard Atlanta is going to get snow tomorrow. So that's why I say maybe some parts of the country. Like I said, if you're listening on YouTube, let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm kind of curious to see who's listening and where they're listening from. Let us know. I'll give you a shout on the air. As Council Jr. now swings it over left. Warren Jr., oh, look out. Danasek and Amir Johnson get into it, and the ref gets into them a little and says, hey, break it up. Amir Johnson charged with the foul. Aduaka comes in for Johnson. Again, Danasek, I'm very impressed with him. He's such an under-the-radar guy, a real glue guy. Young man, very new to the country, so there's a lot of that adjustment going on. Look out, pass broken up there by Aduaka. Good play by him. Murray Grant now gets it over to Kabasu. Foster cuts in right. Oh, Joe and him got tangled up, and he got the inside step on Braylon Joe. Braylon Joe, just a great bench player. This guy gives you 110% out there. And look at him working the ref. Well, Braylon Joe one day, I think maybe already kind of working on maybe his future coaching aspirations in basketball. I could see that. You know, the bench guys usually, they have the acumen because they see so much about how it goes. And there's a free throw up in here by Foster. Hodge comes in the game. Hodge is a very, very smooth handler of the basketball. I've been impressed with him as well. Just got a veteran presence to him. There's no question about it. Foster connects. I'm telling you, Dundalk, that's where they have made their living, is on the free throw line. Warren Jr. to Hodge now. Back to Warren Jr. Over to Melvin Council Jr. Left side of the arc. Warren Jr. no look pass. There is Danisic. Can't get it to go, but draws the foul. Danisic a little mad he didn't finish, but hey, he drew the foul. He got to the line. He's going to be all right. There we go. Danisic to the line. First free throw off the mark. Second free throw on the way here. And he misses. So Dundalk skates there unscathed. They trail at 53-33 with 13:11 to go here. Thank you so much for joining us on this Martin Luther King Day weekend. Nice steal there by Council Jr. Hodge back to Council Jr. Couldn't handle it. Boy, a rare miscue handling the ball by Council Jr. This guy is usually so automatic. But it happens once in a while. Knowing Council Jr., he'll just do something stupendous defensively 2 times or 3 times over for the rare miscue. This guy's unbelievable out there. I am amazed at his speed watching him. Really is. That's another part of his game. Missed 3 there, out of bounds, possession, Mustangs. Now, Braylon Joe, I'm looking at this now, and Onstron have 4 fouls apiece here. They're the ones in foul trouble for the Mustangs. Amir Johnson with 4 fouls for the Lions. Council Jr. over to Warren Jr. Warren Jr. now, left side, draws a double team. Danisic. Is that an offensive foul? I didn't know what happened there, but that is the 4th on Danisic. So does Gordon or Kelton come in? Well, Amir Johnson comes back in with 4 fouls for the Lions. Kind of a weird relay back in. Well, now that is strange because Foster, I thought, ran into Keon Gill. Gill wasn't even looking at him. That is a tough foul to call on Keon Gill. That guy was just trying to get in position. That's Foster, a little cagey there move. Figures it out. And right on cue, Ty Kelton comes in the game for Keon Gill. Gill can't believe it. He is saddled with 4 fouls now. There was no foul on that last play to Danisic. Because he is still with 3. I don't know what's going on here. Everybody's saying what for and who's this and I'm here, I'm where, and I don't know what's going on. I know that Foster's at the line, but Grant is getting into it with the referee. I'm not sure. And Jaron Taylor, the head coach, saying what's going on. Then the buzzer went off. Now the field goal should count, no? He launched that. Well, now there's pointing, and somebody did what? Did somebody get assessed a technical here for talking back to the ref? I don't know what's going on, how it's going. Now, he made the field goal before that buzzer went off. Well, now they're saying Keon Gill fouled out of the game. He has 5, so he's out. All right. They did count that. Did they count that free throw? Well, there is a miss there. I guess they did count that free throw, so it was 1 of 2 from the line. Warren Jr., that was a nice play, but that's a travel. Tough play for Warren Jr. You know, he got that pop-up ball in the air. He's ahead of the ball, and he's got to try to kind of stop to get the ball back in front of him. And that led to the travel. Jordan Foster now works it left. Off-balance jumper misses. Tajay Kelton with the rebound. Quickly over to Council Jr. Under 12 minutes to go. Mustangs in command here, 53-34. Council Jr. jumper, left elbow. Nothing on it. Danisic, look at this young man dive into the out of play there, trying to save that possession. Johnson gets this back in now to Jordan Foster. Back to Johnson is, quote-unquote, the big man on this team, but he can handle. He can bring it up. Swings it over now off the foot there, nicely recovered. Kabasu goes on the inside. This is what the Lions have been doing all day. Time and time again, driving down, trying to get free throw attempts. And it will send Balenga Kabasu to the line. Free throw off the mark here. 18 of 22 from the line is Dundalk. Second free throw, up and in. And here we go again. Warren Jr. back over to Hodge here. Back over to Hodge. Warren Jr. gets the ball back. Left side 3 on the way. Council Jr. misses. Loose ball foul away from the play, and there's that man Danisic again, and he just took Johnson out of this game. That's number 5 for Johnson. I believe Aduaka comes in for him. Johnson can't believe it. Kelton now over to Council Jr. Hodge for 3, off the mark, no good. Rebounded away by Grant. Grant, nice outlet pass. And running out of real estate that time was Amoruso. Once again, this game's tempo has stagnated significantly. A lot of turnovers and fouls. There's just no rhythm to this game. And Council Jr. now over to Hodge. Hodge feeds a deflected pass. I don't know who they're going to say gets that one. Well, they'll remain with the Mustangs. Danisic takes a seat. Gordon comes back in. They work it down to the right side. It's like Warren Jr. was hip checked there by Amoroso. Possession Mustangs. As Council Jr. gets it back into Warren Jr. Warren Jr. to Council Jr. on that right baseline. Explodes, gets inside, can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound and is hacked down for his efforts. And once again, another foul, another trip to the line, and this game is just crawling along at a snail's pace. Moves on into the game. Melvin Council Jr. 8 points so far. And his first free throw is in and out, no good on the 1-and-1. Foster, look out, off balance, fadeaway shot, gets it to go. 53-37 now. Mustangs on top. As Warren Jr. back to Hodge. Hodge back to Warren Jr. Left side of that arc. Back over to Hodge, fakes the shot, puts it up and in. Boy, Hodge has been quite proficient off the bench. He has 7. And with under 10 minutes to go, it's an 18-point Mustangs lead. Maruso, the jumper, puts it up and in. Mid-range jumper, timeout. Lions, and boy, I'll tell you, Coach Taylor not happy for some reason despite the basket. We'll step aside. 55-39, Mustangs on top. We'll be back here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Welcome back here. Mike McGinnis on the call. 9:48 to go on this one. Mustangs on top, 55-39. Don't forget, we have the 4-pack tomorrow. First tip-off, 11 o'clock here. 1, 3, and 5 on the MLK Classic weekend here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Warren Jr. now over to Kelton. Back to Hodge. Now it's Warren Jr. back and forth with Hodge. He works it left side, feeds it inside to Kelton. Fadeaway shot, can't get it to go. And the rebound ahead here to Foster. Foster, oh man, lost the handle on it. Amaruso somehow came up with it. Swings it back out. Here's a 3 for Murray Grant, misses. And here's Council Jr. out of control and draws the foul on Amaruso. So Council Jr. to the line here. Gets the first one to go. And Council Jr. now with 9 points for the Mustangs. As Grant, backdoor pass, he puts it up and in on the right baseline. Nice feed there from Muzan. Warren Jr. to Hodge, back to Warren Jr. Back over to Hodge. This is the give and go. Warren Jr. back to Hodge. Give and go, they go again. Warren Jr. feeds it inside. Kelton establishes position. Bank shot up and in. He muscled Muzan out of the way. Foster brings it up now with a stutter step move. Inside, they swing it back out. Grant Here's a three. Muzan on the way. You better believe it. He connected on that one on the right baseline. Dundalk has really stepped up the tempo offensively. Interesting pass. Thought Hodge was fouled there. Warren Jr. now looking around, trying to find somebody. Finds Gordon. Gordon. Fadeaway shot, didn't have enough on it. And bringing it ahead is Grant. Grant over to Muzan, comes in, right baseline, the floater up and in. Suddenly Dundalk with some traction here. Armstrong about to come back in the game with 7.5 minutes to go. Council Jr. to Hodge. Back to Council Jr. Look out, Council Jr. can't get that one to go, but he was fouled before the play. Armstrong's going to check in here momentarily for the Mustangs. Hodge takes a seat. Well, I don't know who's going out here. Council Jr. to the line. 2 shots coming. 1 shot up and in. Second free throw, up and in. Council Jr. now has, I believe, 13. Mustangs up by 15, 61 to 46. Check that, he has 12. 3 on the way, off the mark, no good. Nice rebound by Hodge. Hodge swings it out. Armstrong for 3, off the mark, no good. Grant with the rebound. Look out, a feed inside. Amoruso was left all alone and puts it up and in. Hodge back over now to Council Jr. Council Jr. backs it off here. Oh, Council Jr. lost control, had to throw it back in. It was picked off there by Grant. Amoruso back over to Kabasu. Kabasu puts it up and in, and Dundalk not going away. They have whittled the deficit to 11. Give them credit. They were down by as many as 24 in the early stages in the second half. 6 minutes to go. Mike McGinnis on the call. 61-50, Monroe on top. Here's Council Jr. Back over to Hodge. Armstrong feeds it down low. Left post. Oh, that's an offensive foul. Gordon elbowed Muzan right in the face that time. Gordon is going to pick up the foul. Danisic comes in for him. And the Lions will get possession here. Kabasu brings it back in over to Foster with under 6 minutes to go. Foster, right side, cuts in, swings it back out. Also, Muzan's the hot guy, he misses it. Here's a, oh, look out here. Big grab of the ball and falling down. Armstrong and Amoruso, 2 of the smaller guys, get into a scuffle down there. Neither one wanted to give it up. Boy, you got to like the guts on these 2 guys. Jump ball, I don't know who's got possession here. Looks like it's going to be the Lions ball here with 5:43 to go. And here we go, feed inside, stolen there. Armstrong got a piece of it, Kelton came up with it. Council Jr. now brings it up, left side, goes down the lane. Back out, left arc 3, Armstrong misses, and the rebound by Foster. Foster swings it out, deflected pass out past the bench there. Tangled up in the webbing over there on some piece of equipment. Possession, Dundalk. They bring it back in here, Muzan. Over to Foster. Back over the left side, they work it to Grant. Now inside, Kabasu moves on back over to Foster. Well, I'll tell you, Muzan was losing his footing there, and a foul is called. And Muzan's going to go to the line here with the ability to whittle the deficit to a single digit here. 9, not 1, but 9 with some free throw attempts here. Muzan's first free throw off the mark, no good. He has 9 points so far. Muzan's second free throw off the mark there. Critical misses for the Lions guard. Council Jr. gets the pass ahead from Hodge. Under 5 minutes to go. Monroe up 31-50. Armstrong left side. Works it to Hodge, right over to Council Jr. Back to Hodge. Armstrong inside, feeds Kelton, who puts it up and in. Tajay Kelton once again double digits off the bench. 5 of 8 from the floor. And 4.5 to go. Monroe up by 13, 63-50. Exploding is Foster, trying to make a move inside. He's pushed back out to the right. And he goes down the lane again, lost control, could have been a travel. And there's a three-pointer by Muzan on a broken play. How about that? Somebody yelled travel, and I think it was Coach Brewstad. I think he had a point. Council Jr. now brings it to the front court, and he's fouled there by Foster. For Foster, that would be his third. And it sends Council Jr. to the line, who has 12 points. First free throw up and in.
Melvin Council Jr. 2 of 2 from the line. And Coach Brewstad wants to take a timeout. We'll step aside. 65-53, Monroe leads it. 4:01 to go. We'll be back here from the Monroe Athletic Complex.
Welcome back to the Monroe Athletic Complex. Mike McGinnis on the call. Mustangs 65, Dundalk CCBC 53, 4:01 to go in this one. Melvin Council Jr. has led the way for the Mustangs with 14 points. Mustangs have shot 35% from the floor. Now Dundalk has shot much better here in the second half. In fact, they have shot 55% from the floor. And they've given themselves a fighting chance. Once down by 24, they trail by 12. And they are led by Muzan's 12 points. As they work it in the midcourt now. Kabasu back over to Grant. Grant draws the foul there. That's going to be number 4 on Danisic. And Murray Grant will go to the line here. Muzan connects on the first. Big discrepancy in free throws. Dundalk, 26 attempts, 15 for Monroe. David Gordon looks like he's going to check back in for the Mustangs. Missed free throw there, and that's going to be costly. Early on, the Lions were pretty good from the charity stripe. They were 11 of 12 at one point. Since then, they're 9 of 15. Onstrand now. Looks around, gets it over to Council Jr. on the feed from Kelton. Hodge on the left side of the arc. Bounce pass inside. Danisic. Offensive foul, and that's it. Danisic is done. He is frustrated. He's out of the game. Gordon's in. And here we go with 3:14 to go. Monroe with an 11-point lead. But I'll tell you, I think Dundalk has taken the momentum from them a little. They have quietly whittled away this deficit. Oh, look out there as almost a collision there. That's all it simply was between Grant and Amoruso. Amoruso just ran into the backside of, Grant ran into the backside of Amoruso. Let's see if the Mustangs can get the break here. Kelton swings it out to Onstrand. Onstrand, deep three. No, Council Jr. passes it off. Onstrand for three. Connects. That might be the dagger right there. Very patient approach by the Mustangs. They kept passing and passing on a shot there, looking for the higher percentage look. They got it and didn't miss. Well, let's see. Foster now comes in. Deflected pass. That's a turnover. Here comes Council Jr. He's going to take off some time here. To Hodge. Hodge just holds the ball in place. No look pass over to Gordon. No look pass to Onstrand. And finishes. Isaac Onstrand with the strong finish there. Just like that, Mustangs are up by 16 again with under 2 minutes to go. With the win, the Mustangs will improve to 16-5. Dundalk BC will drop to 8-6. Out now trying to find his way. Balance not there for Muzan. He couldn't get that shot to fall. And Hodge brings it up slowly ahead for the Mustangs. Onstrand pulled up, but pulls back on the three. Hodge to Kelton. Kelton trying to find position. Bounce pass inside. Hodge to Gordon. Gordon can't get it and puts it back up and in himself. David Gordon. Another strong performance off the bench. He has 6, and the Mustangs are back up by 18 with under a minute to go. Foster looks around now. Bounce pass inside. Here's the jumper on the right elbow, and getting it to connect was Kabasu. We'll be back here again, of course, tomorrow. First game at 11 a.m. here from the Monroe Athletic Complex. Onstrand looking around right side. Comes inside, can't finish. He collides in with Muzan. Amoroso gets that one to go. And with 23 seconds left and the shot clock turned off, this might do it. As Council Jr. brings it up, presumably no shot here. And the Mustangs will walk away with a 72-58 win. For Mike McGinnis, everybody here from the Monroe Athletic Complex, quick turnaround. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mustangs win this one, 72-58. For everyone here from Monroe College Athletics, thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.